Hello, and welcome to the Divorced Dadvocate, divorce support for dads, where we help dads create a healthy and less traumatic divorce. My name is Jude Sandoval, and I'm your host. I created this podcast in the Divorced Advocate community as a result of my own high conflict divorce, and because you as a dad deserve all the resources necessary to thrive through this challenging time. I encourage you to check out our website at thedivorcedadvocate.com, where there are resources that correspond to this episode, as well as free access to our membership community, where you will find live meetings, free workshops and courses, private discussion groups, and more. And now, on to this week's episode. Hello, hello, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. Bradley, good morning. Matt, good morning. Steve, good to see you, my friend. I am having some video issues. My camera will not adjust in Zoom. That's so weird. Does anybody know how to fix that? Good morning, John. Oh.
Hey, everybody.
All right. Good morning, Kevin, Matthew, M, John, good morning.
Morning.
John Baker, good morning. All right. A bunch of people jumping in here this morning. Anybody know how to fix why my camera is fuzzy? This is John?
Windex?
No, I already cleaned it. I tried that. I know.
I don't know.
That's so weird.
And it is fuzzy from this side too. Sometimes I think you get a different image on your own than it projects out. But yeah, I agree. Yours is fuzzier.
It's all jacked up. It's so weird.
I don't see anything it's not like it's focused on anything in the distance that looks, the lampshade way back there looks equally as fuzzy. So I don't know.
Huh. So strange. I love Zoom. Always something new and exciting every time I jump on a Zoom call, from audio to video. I mean, not that you guys really care to see me in high definition anyway, but
it's the complexion filter, you know.
Yeah, that's right. It says you woke up looking like hell, so you're gonna make you fuzzy today. Or maybe that's a condition of my state of mind this morning, fuzzy, right? Could be, or could be both. JC, you laughed a little too hard on that.
Well, it's funny. I posted something like a year ago on social media because I woke up one morning and the Face ID wasn't working. And I said, you look like shit when the Face ID isn't working.
Yeah, right. No kidding. Very funny. Well, welcome, guys. We're just going to give people a couple more minutes to jump on. Maybe it's focused on my mic. Yeah, but I didn't have my mic here when it went to crap. So I don't know. I'm not going to really worry about it again. You guys don't need to see me in high definition. All right, let's see here. See, Clint, welcome. Good to see you. Or not see you, but see that you're here. Carl's jumping on. Moss, good morning. It's been a while.
Morning, everyone.
Gotta expand my screen so I can get everybody on here. I like it. Either means we're growing or it means we got a lot to talk about today. I don't know. Or both. I got to say, I know that I've had a little bit of a week, so it's been more than interesting. Kind of an ongoing thing. John, I got to say you're right. Again.
Sorry. I wish I wasn't.
I wish you weren't so damn smart.
No.
Guys, just listen to John. Don't listen to anything I have to say.
The pattern is irrefutable.
John's intuitive. The patterns patterns are pretty Don't ignore patterns, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Jay. Then who is 512-779-4215?
I'll be back.
I'm sorry?
He said he'd be back.
He'll be back. All right. Well, we'd appreciate it if you'd identify yourself once you come back. We're not too worried, but we do like to have some names to go with who's logging in here. Hands up. Why is your hand up? 512-779.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, this is Clint. Hey Jude, I've been on a few meetings.
Clint.
Before.
All right. How you doing, Clint? Yes.
Sorry, I'm trying to do the dial options. I'm mainly on my phone here. My hand may be raised. I don't know how to unraise
it. I'll put it down for you. Lower hand. Oh, that's funny. You know, you're an old guy when it's hard to just figure out getting on a Zoom call. And I speak from experience. That's me. All right. So let's get rolling. Got a good crowd today, guys. Thanks for being here this morning. I really appreciate it. And we're just going to start out with some introductions. Just try to take. We got a good group of guys today, so let's try to keep the introductions relatively brief, maybe around a minute to 2 minutes. Share a little bit about yourself, a little bit about what you've got going on, and if you've got any specific topics you want to chat about, or if you got something going on that you'd like some advice about, feel free to bring that up to the group, and I will take notes about any topics or stuff we want to talk about. We won't get into it right off the bat in the introductions, but I will make sure that we circle back around to everything that anybody wants to talk about, and then we will just open it up to conversation, and we'll go over those topics and talk. And just want to let you guys know this is a safe place for us to be open, to chat about things, to be vulnerable. So just keep that in mind in our interactions and in our conversations with each other. So I am going to start, and something's weird now too, because usually it has like you at the top, like you personal at the top, and then it's like circling around. Something got changed on this, and I haven't been on Zoom all week, so who knows? Zoom's screwing with me again. So I'm just going to start who's right next to me, because I'm showing up in the gallery, which is really weird. But anyway, and that's you, Brad. Good morning. You're the winner.
All right. Good morning.
Going
everyone.
first.
So I'm Brad. I'm here in Denver, and this is my second time joining the group. So I was able to join last time, which was really awesome. I'm currently pre-divorced, so we haven't filed yet, and but we are pretty well separated. We've been separated since August. So I've got two kids, a 6-year-old and a 13-year-old, and right now I'm trying to navigate the whole weird relationship with my wife thing, because I'm just really pissed off at her still. And I think that's going to be the norm for a while. So I'm finding myself engaging in behavior of like ignoring her and just not really even acknowledging that she's there. And when I do answer her, I'm just kind of curt and short, which is really not my personality. So it's noticed by everyone, including my two kids. And yeah, so I'm just trying to manage that, but also keep things civil because we do have our two kids.
Got it. Well, thanks for coming back. It's good to see you. Appreciate you being here.
Yeah, thanks.
Matthew B. Good morning, my friend.
Hello, good morning. It's my first time. I moved out in November. I got a house with 2 bedrooms for our 2 kids. They're 5 and 7. I live here in Denver, and we're separated, not divorced. We have mediation scheduled for April, and so far, so good. Amicable co-parenting. Like Brad, I'm very angry, but I'm very lucky. I have a therapist. My family's here. I've been in Denver 20 years. I have a friend network, a support network.
Great.
I'm also in a meetup group for like stay-at-home dads. I'm kind of like a part-time employee, a part-time stay-at-home dad, and a part-time single guy now. So I'm going out for coffee with dads this afternoon. No kids. It's like just a dads get together in person. So I'm very lucky. I have a lot of support, but it's hard.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is Jude with a quick reminder about the Divorced Advocate Foundation for Fathers, which is our nonprofit that helps dads through divorce with legal education, free or reduced cost coaching, and mental health resources. If you own a business or know someone who does, there's an easy way to help by connecting credit card processing through our partner program. Part of the fees go straight to the foundation with no added cost to the business, and 98% of businesses are actually able to save money on their processing fees. It's a win-win. So if you know a business that accepts credit cards, get them in touch with me by sending a warm introduction email to jude@thedivorcedadvocate.com or give me a call directly at 720-255-1021. Well, welcome. We're glad you're here, and I'm glad you got a lot of support, and I'm glad that you showed up here as well. Do you mind sharing what that's that dad's meetup group is?
Yeah, I think it's literally called Dad's Meetup.
Dad's Meetup. Okay.
Yeah, I got involved a few years ago through the Meetup app, and it is called Denver Dads Group.
Denver Dads Group. Okay, yeah. Cool. So that's a good resource, guys. Anybody looking
out to guys? It's run by a really great guy named Kyle, and they've become a really good friend to our family. I also do once a month open space divorce support. It's also based in Colorado.
Good.
It's mixed gender. It's men and women. It's open to anyone who wants to join.
Awesome. And so where do we find information on that?
I also found it through Meetup. It's called Open Space Divorce Support. So I'm doing all the work. I jog, I lift weights, I have hobbies. I'm doing everything to just make this as easy as possible.
Good, man. Yeah, definitely take care of yourself. I'm sure we'll get into that topic. If guys that have been on know that we talk about that all the time. So sounds good. Glad to meet you. Glad that you're here. Good morning, John. John K.
Good morning. So yes, I'm John. I'm here in the Denver area. I've been divorced about 6 years now. Have a 19-year-old daughter, and was fortunate enough to get sole custody of her about 5 years ago and move out here to Denver from the East Coast and kind of start anew. And for those of you who don't know me, I run a group that focuses on recovering from narcissistic abuse. So for those of us who might be in high conflict divorces, there may be a reason why that is unchangeable, kind of thing. But I certainly hope that those of you who use the word amicable, it truly is amicable. But yeah, my divorce was not and never will be amicable. So.
Glad you're here, my friend. And definitely, I will give kudos to John and his group. If you are in a high conflict divorce, and you think that even if you don't think, but you suspect that your ex or soon to be ex has some disordered personality issues, that John's group is a great one, because we'll talk a little bit about that in generalities here, but John's group does a deep dive into that, and also particularly helps you with the mental and emotional part of that, which is a huge thing in trying to mitigate and deal with that. So yeah, John, if you want to put the link and info to getting in contact with you, that would be great. I know there's a process that John goes through before. If you're on this call and he's met you a few times and he's listened and talked to you and had interactions with you, otherwise there's a little process behind that just for safety's sake. So definitely check it out. Robert, you're up. Good morning.
Morning, everybody. Matthew, thank you for the references. I jotted those down if you're interested in it. So I live in Evergreen, Colorado. I've been here 25 years. Great support network, a lot of friends, which have helped me a bunch. I've kind of reconnected with family that I call down the hill that are in the Denver area. So that's another benefit. Was married together 20 years, married 17. Wife hit me with I don't want to be married anymore. I don't want to be a wife anymore. I want to be a single woman in Southern Florida, which is where we have another house. So we finally have a court date set. It's April 25th. We do not have mediation set. I've not spoken to her in 3 months. I refuse to, just because of the way she's kind of dark psychology, gaslighting, played me a whole bit. So I still don't have her financial affidavits. I told my attorney to go for the jugular. She's 1 day short, 1 minute short on any deadlines to file whatever legal process is necessary. I want to be able to take that to the court and such. 2 boys, they were her boys, but I got them 5 and 6. They're my kids. I raised them. They actually kind of following in my footsteps career-wise. So that's all good. And Josh, I want to give you a call out after our last get together. I started journaling again. And one of the big things in the journaling is I went back a couple months to stuff because I haven't put anything in my journal. And I went back to stuff that I had entered that I had forgotten about. It's kind of helping me process. But for me, it's right now, I'd like to get back into the dating scene, but no women want anything to do with a guy that's separated, and just emotionally in my head, letting go and doing it to forgive, not for her, but for me, and to just open my heart again and start loving myself. So that's my story.
Well, thanks, Robert. Appreciate you continuing to show up and do the work, my friend.
Dude, thanks for
glad you're here.
I love this. I mean, this is kind of helpful and hearing everybody share. So kudos.
Yeah. Good, man. Carl, good morning. Welcome back.
Hey, thanks, Jude. I'm Carl. I'm actually not in the Denver area. I'm on the East Coast United States, just a little outside of Boston. I've struggled to get to this meeting because almost exactly a month ago, my wife finally decided to move out, like 3 days after going to court for a kind of a temporary order. It would have been nice if I'd known a little ahead of time that she was immediately departing. So that caused a bunch of friction. I've right now temporarily have 60-40. She's got 60, I've got 40. So, really the last kind of 4 weeks, this sounds weird to say, but like getting into the swing of the divorced life, I guess. Mm-hmm. So we still have another court date in June, hopefully to settle this all up. And I can kind of relate a little bit to what Bradley was saying. There's definitely days where I just don't want to talk to her, but by and large, I think I'm doing okay. And actually, she's given me a lot more anger. It's just the kind of the way she wants to interact with me that is a little off-putting. I think if I were to ask for anything, it's like, how do people deal with kind of just the almost overwhelming quiet when like no one's here? That's where I'm at right now.
All right. Well, good to see you back, my friend. Jason, good morning.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jason, I live here in Denver, 2 kids, 9.5 and almost 7. Been divorced about 2.5 years. My divorce was, I'll call it amicable. I think to John's point, I made it amicable by not pushing back. I was frustrated, angry, all those emotions. But ultimately, it was amicable because if one party doesn't want to be there, it's really wasted energy to focus on, too much more of that versus kind of focus on starting to move forward. I say that now like it's easy. It wasn't easy. It was a long, arduous process for sure. I'm an active dater at this point. I have been for much of that time. I had a therapist for about 2.5 years who I'm no longer seeing now, not in a negative way, because I feel like I'm good to go, as good as I'm going to go for now. So yeah, I kind of pop back in here now and again to offer support, guidance, and sometimes just to level set where I'm at. Sometimes it's just helpful to have even virtually a support group here too. So was married 11 and a half years, together 15.
And lots of wisdom. You share lots of wisdom, and I appreciate that. Appreciate you always coming back. Kevin, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I'm here in Littleton, Colorado. We separated around July. I bought a separate place. She bought a separate place. It's amicable, but trust and verify. And I say that because I was looking over our taxes for this year. She does them. And then I looked over taxes for last year, and there's some things I had some questions about. So just saying that, just be aware, even if it's amicable, she may have justified some creative accounting in our taxes. So just I'm being more aware. What I'll do about it, who knows? It may be worth a few $1,000s to just let it go and in this. So anyway, we haven't filed, doing the paperwork. I'm having more good days than bad now. I'm actually getting power. I feel more powerful because I am controlling everything around me, in marriage and sharing time and compromises. I'm losing track. I lost track of how much that added up, especially when she became less invested in the marriage. So there's something that I'm feeling more powerful and better about myself because I'm in charge of my day. I keep the kitchen the way I want. I keep my own schedule. So it's not ideal. It's too quiet around the house a lot of the time. I don't want a date, but I want companionship, and I haven't pulled that off yet. But it is empowering to have control over my every detail of my life. It's not perfect at all, but I find I'm getting strength through that. So that's where I am right now.
Good, my friend. Welcome back. John Baker, good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. This is my first time in the group. I had a meeting with Jude yesterday. Fantastic guy. Very, very excited to be a part of here. So, what is it, 2.5 months ago, I left. Wife did not want to work anything out. So I kind of seeking God through that period. Felt like he gave me pretty clear evidence internally and externally that marriage restoration was not going to happen. She wanted the divorce, but I could not get her to file, so I just filed actually a week ago. Come a long ways. I got hit with a lot all at once. I know a lot of guys go through that surprise divorce thing, and that hit me. I'm 26. I've got 2 kids, 7 and 4, boy and a girl, and just learning to adjust and heal and try and look at the positive things in life.
Good kid. Well, thanks for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Gordon, good morning.
Hey guys, glad to be here again. Last time was my first go. Kevin, much like you, I'm starting to feel a little bit better. It's only been like 6 weeks or something like that. But what's going on right now with me is having the narcissistic mother-in-law and wife in the house. So thank you, John, for your group. Has been very, very challenging to the point where my wife is like trying to, remove my son from me while I'm feeding breakfast physically. And then the mother-in-law is taking my daughter to hide with her in a room. And I'm saying, no, this is unacceptable, having to grab my daughter back out of her arms. So it's gotten very contentious in our house lately. We have our first, what the heck is it called? Our first meeting. Our status conference is on Monday with the magistrate for Jefferson County. I think it's just for setting dates. We're going to also file a motion to hopefully get the mother-in-law out of the house because she is, what is she doing? She is just stirring the pot right now and trying to. So I've got two of them attacking me every day, all day from Monday through Friday until the mother-in-law goes home because she's our nanny. So, but I am feeling a little bit better. One of the things that we've started to do is I've talked the wife into a split share on the weekends where she will take the kids and go to her mother's house on Saturdays, up until 6:30. And then I get the kids all of Sunday. So I barely see my wife on the weekend, which has been fantastic. And it makes me feel like I am the old me, or not the old me, but the pre-marriage me, which is good. So I'm starting to feel a lot more confident, a lot more myself, a lot more happy. And, one of the big things that's going on with this is it is really just confirming that I've made one of the hardest yet best decisions in my life to divorce this woman. And I am excited to move forward because of the weekends that I'm spending right now. And one of the things that I'm really doing is, like today, I'm going to go down and see a buddy of mine in Colorado Springs, who I haven't seen in, months. Found out he's also getting a divorce. And also, when I have my kids on Sundays, I'm having some friends come over and I'll cook them lunch and we can, all hang out with the kids. So that at least the kids say, it's not just hang out with daddy, it's hang out with daddy and other people. Because that's kind of what my kids are getting when they go over to their mother's house, which is sort of instant family over there. So that's kind of my survival plan and thrive plan, if you will, right now. And it's working pretty well. I'm sort of dreading going back to work in a couple of weeks because I've been on leave for a little while, just to clear my head, because there was no way that I've never been in a funk this bad before. So luckily work was nice enough to give me some leave so that I could clear my head, hopefully come back to work in a good space and not totally vapid with my inability to get sleep. That's the other thing. I've been getting about 6 hours of sleep a night now, which has been amazing. It's far better than the 2 I was getting earlier. So I think that's also helping me to be me. So, and one of the things I was hoping to ask for from the group today is daycare and what to do with daycare on a moment's notice. Because my wife just keeps threatening to leave and I don't know when I'm going to need daycare.
Okay. Yeah, let's definitely talk about that and just talk about being safe and being careful with the delicate situation, because that can go really wrong as guys if something happens. They're, we're on notice all of the time. So,
yeah,
cool. Moss, good morning. Hello,
morning,
Moss.
guys. Yes, right. I have the mute on. Things have been well. Sorry, I've been able to be on for a few, but yeah, just definitely wanted a kind of recalibration. So that's why I wanted to hop on the call here. I'm 2 years divorced now. It's weird saying that out loud sometimes. Extremely high conflict divorce or post divorce. The divorce was light speed. I got really fortunate and lucky. I'm probably in the 2% of men where I have full custody of the kids. My daughter just turned 10 in January and my son just turned 6 in January. They're just a couple of days apart. Pretty much everything was kind of settled and going decent with the ex with the latest agreement that we have. She's starting to go wacko again, posting stuff on social media. I'm a small business owner. She's dragging my name through the mud, my company's name through the mud. But there's nothing you can do about it. And started dating. Fortunately, these 2 girls I was dating here recently just didn't work out. One of them ghosted me, which is really hard. And the other one just said, "Hey, I want to be exclusive." And I was like, "Hey, I'm not ready for that." So she was at least straight up and said, "Hey, I don't want to continue this if we can't be exclusive." So, just being 43 and the trials and tribulations of being out there in the dating scene. But I try to reframe these things in a positive way where, I'm very fortunate and blessed to have these 2 beautiful children in my life. Business is doing okay, always improving on that. And then just the fact that, there are options. There's so many women out there, guys. And I mean, if you just get in there and do the grind and just try it out, you can find companionship, but I still don't recommend that until you're ready for it. If you jump into that too soon, you're going to find another monster worse than whichever situation you just recently left. But if anybody has any questions about the high conflict stuff, post divorce, how to be able to, even that I might be able to give some tips on like last minute daycare, because I've had to deal with that too. But yeah, just feel free to reach out.
Cool. Yeah. And thank you, Moss. I appreciate it. And good to have you back for sure. And guys, if you're comfortable with it, feel free to put any contact information in the chat and save that and share that and connect. That's part of what we do here. And we have people connect in all parts of the country. And a lot of us here are here in Denver right now, but there's also guys across, and I know others have connected in other parts of the country. So feel free. Good morning, Jay Harris. Good morning, Jay.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
We're going to get you on camera one of these weeks.
Yeah, I tried to do a different background and my room's a mess. So the background didn't work with Zoom. I'm still trying to play with that.
How are you doing, my friend?
Doing well, yes. Doing intro. My name's Jay Harris. I live here in the Denver metro area, and been divorced 6.5 years. This June will be 7. I didn't want out of the marriage, but my ex-wife did, obviously. And so unfortunately you can't stop a divorce. It is what it is. I guess it's nationwide, but definitely here in Colorado. And we have 6 children together. And unfortunately she pit them against me. I haven't seen my 3 oldest kids in over 3 years. I haven't talked to them. Don't know where they live. No contact whatsoever. Fortunately, my youngest son, Noah's 15, and he and I are very close. And we hang out. We have 50-50 custody, and we hang out a lot. So that's been very good. And life after divorce is very interesting. It definitely, my life is better without my ex. I just wish my kids would reach out a little bit and have some time with them. So I guess that's it.
Good, man. Good to hear from you.
Thank you.
Glad you're here. Clint, welcome back.
Clint. Hey guys, I'm Clint. I am in Austin, Texas. I kind of learned about this through Meetup. I just getting out of a 20-year marriage. My divorce is almost final. Within the last 2 weeks, we've gotten the mediated service settlement agreement signed. Just waiting for it to be officially filed with the county. Mostly amicable. Definitely a little bit of struggle with some of the finances, and I guess really just learning. I guess the big thing for me is being on my own and really getting in touch with who I am and focusing a lot more on who I am and what I want out of life. I think too often I was operating more codependently or doing things that the wife wanted. And it's just been interesting to see how that has played out now that we're not married. Don't work anymore. So anyway, good stuff. I have 3 kids, 12, 15, and 17. Excited to be here. I've definitely gotten a lot out of this group. Thanks.
Good, man. Well, glad you're back here. And it's amazing, right? When we kind of figure out that that relational dynamic and our part that we played in that relational dynamic. And then when we start to change that and how freeing that is and how much our life can change and our feelings can improve and things can get better. It's pretty awesome. But I got to say, and I know because Clint's been on workshops and others, and I've interacted with him quite a bit over probably, I don't know, it's probably been like 9 months or so now, Clint, I think, but he's definitely put in the effort and the work into it. So yeah, it's definitely credit to you, Clint. So glad to have you back. And so that leaves me, I guess. Have I missed anybody? Nope. So my name is Jude, and I started this group. It's a little bit over 2 years now that we've been going. We've got 350 members, and it's been fantastic. It came from my own high conflict divorce. I've been divorced it'll be 10 years in July, and I was married for 11. I have 3 daughters who are 17, 14, and 12. And so it's been fantastic being able to share and connect with all of you guys every week. My week has been really incredibly difficult and challenging. I had an incident with my 17-year-old on Sunday that she was acting out, and it got to the point that it got physical and she was asked to leave, and she hasn't been back since. And apparently, and for those of you that know my situation, has spent time at my house and with me. My oldest daughter has been estranged from her mom for over 2 years and has not talked to her. Well, yesterday I found out she's living with her again. So it's just like a complete twilight zone that's going on in my house and in my life right now. On top of that, I went to pick up my 2 youngest daughters yesterday, and they wouldn't come with me. And then there was a court order that my ex had filed 38 minutes before I was to pick them up from school, saying I'm unsafe and this and that, an emergency order. So I haven't done to my daughters this weekend on my parenting time. And so that goes back to what I was talking about with John. If you guys were on this call a few months ago, my ex was acting nice and talking about settling. We're currently in court, and now I find that she's been facilitating some of this stuff and some of this alienation and stoking all of this and picking up my daughter, and which is just mind-boggling. So I just feel like I'm in the twilight zone. There's a lot of emotions. My emotions are all over the place, as you can imagine. I'm sad, and then I'm angry, and then I'm confused. So that's where I'm at after 10 years of divorce. So, the roller coaster goes up and down, particularly with parenting and parenting teens as well. So let's talk a little bit. Let's talk about the daycare thing that Gordon was asked about. A couple of you guys mentioned in there that you might have some suggestions or tips for him on that. Not all at once.
Well, I mean, I would just say it's easy for me to say right here in this moment. Emergency daycare drop-in daycare is really, really challenging for sure. I found it certainly the easiest to have, a structured daycare environment. And my kids sounds like may have been older than yours. My youngest at the time was 4. So she was at that point, she was actually in a early child education program at that point at the elementary school. ECE is what they call it in Denver public schools. But, drop-in daycare is really tough. I did use care.com a number of times for periodic support. And there are a lot of people that are interested in providing childcare. I think it just depends, is there any kind of agreement that you can come to, and depends on your financial situation with your I guess soon to be ex around her agreeing to have care outside of the mother-in-law, and what's the financial impact there. So it's a little tricky, but again, I thought care.com was helpful. Lots of different resources.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Yeah, my kids are 3 and 16 months old. So similar to what you had.
Yeah, I've used the drop-in daycares before too, Gordon, with just if I had 3 or 4 hours that they needed to be cared for, and you just need to have you need to set up with them ahead of time. So I've set up with them, and then you get everything, and then you buy a package, and then it's just there waiting for you. And then if you have to drop them in, you drop them in. It worked well. I don't know that, so it's not a long-term solution, but it was definitely something if in an emergency. I mean, and then the other thing is connect with some of the other dads and stuff. There's some of the best things I've been able to do is ask other friends and family members, possibly if it's a short-term thing or some kind of help. That's what we're here for. That's part of the community here as well.
Awesome.
Any other ideas around that, guys? Moss, you had an idea?
Yeah, definitely the drop-in daycare. I'm out of Dallas, Texas, so I've had that issue come up a couple of times where you guys hit the nail on the head. You just want to reach out to find 3 drop-in daycares if you can near you,
Yeah.
And just pre-register everything, because some of them require all these medical records and documents, and if that isn't set up right away, then you got issues. Some of them here, like the ones I use here, are super simple. You let them know what school they go to. The schools already have the medical records, and that kind of covers them. But I think you guys have a little bit more regulations as far as that goes. Just you got to start networking. If you guys, there's a website and there's an app. It's called Nextdoor. I would set up it's free. Set up a profile on Nextdoor. It's like a Facebook for your neighborhood, and then start posting saying like, hey guys, like looking for, just last minute and like future babysitters. And then the parents that are on there, or the kids that are on there, they'll get referred over to you. So you might be able to find some local kiddos, between the ages of like 12 and like 18, 17 that live in your neighborhood that will just literally be able to run over and watch the kids if you need them. Whatever solution you have, though, because it sounds like you're about to go through like a living hell, or so you might be there right now. And I'm so sorry if you are having like, this mother-in-law and this, and your soon to be ex in the house there. Just be super duper careful whoever you bring in your home, because they can also be used against you, especially if they're able to like manipulate that person. So that's why I think the drop-in daycare would be the best. But after you get them out of the house, or you figure the whole living situation gets squared away and figured out, then you can start taking a look at like having somebody a little bit more permanent. If you have the financial means, fortunately, I do have a full-time nanny, but she does not live with us. My lawyer did recommend that this is highly recommended. I do not have like an au pair or like a live-in nanny. And the reason for that is that because that could be used against you, because now they can be like, well, he's not, when the kids are with him, he's not actually spending the time with the kids and putting them to bed. Well, if you just have a nanny or like a daycare type situation, it's just daycare. It's like, 9 to 5. So you're never going to get, no judge should ever like mess with you with that. But just, until the divorce is over, just be super careful who you trust, you bring into your home. So like another thing that you could do after the divorce is over, if you guys do sports or anything like that, or if you have some trusted friends within like, Girl Scouts or Boy Scouts, I'm able to do that just because like my ex-wife has no visibility and everyone knows our situation. But like, if there's some people like in the Girl Scout group or the Boy Scout group that are also like acquaintances and friends with your soon-to-be ex, then like, again, just be super duper careful, because they could use all, they'll be manipulated and like, oh, he's dropping the kids off over here because he can't watch them. And, we're judged as men in so many different ways than they are like, our soon-to-be exes. That is just frustrating, but that's life. And then the other thing is, if nobody's said this before, and I don't know what the laws are in your state, but honestly, I don't care. I'd rather catch a charge for like recording somebody illegally than going to jail for like, domestic abuse or like rape. So I highly recommend, if you haven't done it yet, as soon as this call is over, you take your ass to Target or Walmart and you buy yourself not one, but 2 digital recorders. Get yourself a Sony, and they usually have these little USB things. Get yourself good ones. Don't go cheap. And you carry those with you at all times. And you just have the batteries and everything, because like what's probably going to happen, it's called the silver bullet. Nobody's warned you about this. And that's all of a sudden cops are going to show up and your ex is going to like just hit herself with a club in the face and break her own nose or do whatever it takes. And he's going to say like, he hit me. And your only salvation is going to be that you have some kind of digital recording devices. If you haven't already, I would set up a camera in your own room. I'd start setting up like put a lock and key in whatever room you're in your house. I mean, like you're going to war. There's no, the last thing you want is to catch a charge, because they'll use this to get you out of the house. There's so many dirty tricks that women and their lawyers will use to just like destroy a man's life throughout this entire divorce process to get in the upper hand. So just digital devices, cameras, everything you can. Go to the spice store if you have a near one there, and like just get whatever and start putting those around the house, and just look out after yourself and be super careful. Trust no one. And but you'll get through this. You have us here, and we've all been through this too.
Yeah, and to Moss's point there, and not to be fear, like I know you're not fear mongering, Moss, but I know that you've been through a lot. That you've been through a lot, like some of us also have been. You guys, you want to plan for the worst and hope for the best. Okay, that's the best way to do it. And while you're going through this process, you've really got to plan for the worst. So that means documenting all of your conversations. That means some of the things that Moss talked about, cameras, he's spot on with the recording devices. And in Colorado, the law is only one person needs to consent to it, and that one person is you. So, yep.
Awesome. I'll go get some of those nanny cams you guys are talking about and set them up. Sounds good.
Yeah, and just make sure to, it's counterintuitive, right? Because this is somebody that you love, that you've started a family with, you have kids with, you don't want, so there's, your heart is fighting against your mind when you're going through this. Mm-hmm. So part of being here and listening to some guys like Moss and myself and others that have been, John, that have been down the road saying, look, I recognize, I hope it is amicable, right? That's good. That's the way to go. And that's the hope for everybody. But you also got to prepare, because it just takes that one. And my ex is the same way. She's started with the police. The police were there yesterday. And when it's me, it's multiple police, right? Mm-hmm. And the security guard, right? the 6'6" security guard. And I'm standing there going, this is insane. This is totally insane. And so, it's just the nature of what they do, is they utilize that as a tool, because as men, we're dangerous or we're angry or whatever else. So just be cognizant of that. And Gordon, just really, really, really protect yourself, especially if they're already antagonizing you. If they're already antagonizing you, they're demonstrating to you what they think of you, what they think of the situation, and the route, the path that they want to take down this. It's not amicable and whatnot. So just think about that on this extreme end and work backwards in protecting yourself from what that could entail.
No, I think last time Kevin gave me really good advice, which is stop talking to your wife. That's not your wife anymore. Mm-hmm. Don't even think that that's somebody that you used to love, because that is not what she is anymore. That is somebody completely different that just looks like your wife. A question I had on the cameras, guys. So if I go and set up a couple cameras around the house and they find them and they just destroy them, I mean, is that something they can do? I mean,
they can. That's why. I'm hoping you have your own room and you have a lock on it so they can't come in and all that.
I do.
Okay. So pretty much what you're going to do is you're going to set up 1 or 2 cameras inside your room. Just go get whatever you can that's on that streams and saves to the internet. So okay. I think Ring cameras are pretty good about that. They only record when there's motion, and the idea is that if you ever, God forbid, you ever do get in some kind of an argument or altercation with your ex, you'll have enough time to, number one, flip on the recorder that you'll always keep on in your pocket. And then you'll immediately go to your bedroom and you'll just stay there. And then and she's going to follow you and you're going to have the whole argument. She's not going to be able to destroy the camera because that's your room. Right. So kind of, you're going to move yourself to a place where it can be documented. And then the question is going to be keep your 2 recorders on you. And whenever you're near your ex or her mom, you're going to have the recorders, the voice recorders going 24/7. The one thing that I learned and just other people taught me in these similar situations is you can never rely on your phone. So if you're thinking that you're going to be able to record your ex or one of these like a video recording or anything like that with your actual phone that you're going to take make phone calls with or text and all that, don't, because like an iPhone and the Androids, they're locked where they cannot do a voice recording on a phone call. They can't do a voice record. They can't do any kind of recording while you have to call the police. And that's what'll happen is you'll have to call the police and you're using the memo or you're using the video recording. That's going to stop. You'll call the police and that's when she's going to say that you're beating her. So that's why you have to have like overlapping everything. But yeah, there's, plan for the best, prepare for the worst. But that's one of the things that caught me in the beginning. So the way I did it is I just always had these recorders. They'll last 10 hours with a battery. So you just wake up in the morning and since you're both living there, you're just going to turn on the voice recorder and it's just going to be there just in case, documenting the entire day. So God forbid if the police ever come for some weird thing. And then at the end of the day, you're just going to load it up on your computer, send it over to Dropbox or Google Drive. So God forbid in the future, she comes back and says, hey, on this day, I got raped or he hit me. I'm like, nope, I got a recording of the whole day. That never happened.
I put my email in which oops I sent it to Jude, not you. Got to get back to everyone here. There we go. So I was hoping you could send me the recommendation for those cameras you talked about. I think one was a Ring, and I don't know what the other one was. So I'd love to.
But yeah, and like I don't mean to scare the bejesus out of anybody. Like I've had, and some of us here have had some really extreme, like worst case divorces. But yeah, like Jude said, just prepare. Just prepare. These are just in case things. And what might happen too, and the added benefit to all of this is she's probably going to say something crazy, and you might be able to use that as some kind of leverage, or she might do something crazy that you could use as some kind of leverage as you go through the mediation process. So there's a lot of other added benefits by documenting, recording, and all of that.
Okay. I love it. Yeah. Because honestly, with as contentious as it's gotten in my household, my lawyer's really worried about domestic violence charges and all this other crap that these two might try and cook up. So I think this is a fantastic idea.
Yeah. And I'm sure your lawyers told you this, but I'll tell you too, you cannot leave that house. If you leave that house, it's considered abandonment, not until you have like your orders and all that stuff in place, your temporary orders.
Yeah. Is on that note, Gordon, have you guys are kind of doing like a modified nesting agreement? Have you thought about doing that with her? And then a nesting agreement is one parent stays in the house with the kids, the other parent leaves during that parent's parenting time, and then you switch. The other person leaves, the other parent comes in, stays in the house with the kids, and then you just do that based upon what your parenting time is with your kiddos. And that's something to consider if you guys are so contentious it's just not doable.
Yeah, I'd like that, but she also won't leave the house ever. So until we get parental plan in place, and this is what we've been struggling with, is me and my lawyer have floated some very reasonable 50-50 plans over there. She's using breastfeeding as a weapon, saying that she can't have kids do overnights or stay at my house because she's breastfeeding, even though she started to wean him, and the little guy can eat, a crust of pizza and cow's milk and everything else. But they're saying that they can't have the overnights until she's done weaning, which is ridiculous. And so
is she pumping? Your youngest is 15 months old?
16 months old, almost 17 months old. And
gosh,
it's so stupid. Yeah. So she doesn't need to pump. She could. I don't know if she is or not. She's hiding everything from me right now, so I don't know what she's actually doing. But in other words, she will not agree to a parenting plan right now. And so I think it's going to be until we get to temporary orders in May that we will be able to figure that out. But my lawyer is trying to figure out a way to just get them the hell out of this house with a temporary parenting plan, hopefully by the end of next week. We'll see, because she's not paying mortgage anymore. She's not paying the bills. She's not, doing anything. So she's trying to make it as contentious as absolutely possible for me. And I care about the credit and I care about the house. So, I'm paying for it right now. Luckily, I can.
Does she have a job?
Yeah, she sure does. She's a nurse, makes good money.
That's good.
Okay. Well, document, my friend. Continue to document that. That will all come back, and potentially, I mean, it sounds like your attorney's advising you in the right direction. So
yeah, I finally got a good one. So I'm pretty happy about him.
That's good. And I'm sure for financial wise, I'm hoping that you've already opened up your own bank account. You've got your checks going to your own thing. That's good.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Because she liquidated our savings and our checking. So yeah, definitely doing that.
Yep. Another one. Here's what happens oftentimes, guys. And I think John and I were talking about this yesterday when we were chatting, is that oftentimes they're already ahead of the curve on thinking through this stuff, and we get blindsided because this wasn't something that we had considered. There might be challenges, there might be problems, but it wasn't something that's in our mind. And they've already gone down this path mentally and emotionally, and then if they've gone down it mentally, emotionally, oftentimes they're a year or so ahead of us in the planning of what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. And so while we're just mentally and emotionally like shocked, they're already down the road with lawyers. And I mean, I've had a client who we found out during the divorce had planned already for a year and a half before she pulled the trigger, the divorce, and had just waited for an opportunity to set him up. and was successful at doing so. She had already had the attorney hired and was just waiting to set him up. So sorry guys to break it to you, but the fairer sex is not any less ruthless in what they're doing and how they're planning it. So just be aware of it. I know it's sometimes hard to realize and hard to think that way about your wife or soon to be ex, but just prepare for the worst.
So
and that's also why we're here.
So Jude, how come it got this bad with the courts being against men so much, and what happened to our system? It's so jacked up. I mean, the legal system is beyond belief. It's like in this one movie, he said, it's so bad, 2 + 2 = fish.
Yeah. But Jay, that's a topic for some whiskey and maybe hanging out on the patio. I don't know that we can address this in the time that we've got here, and I don't know that we want to go down that rabbit hole. I think there are multifaceted reasons around why we're at where we're at, and but I think the best thing we can do here is focus on what we can do and how we can operate within it right now, and make sure that we not only protect ourselves, but by protecting ourselves, that we're protecting our children and taking care of our families. So, let's maybe we plan a whole night of just getting together. We can go to my clubhouse, sit by the pool, and talk about the origins of family law and how fucked up it is.
It seems like if anybody wants to get together, I've got a great bar with a pool room.
Oh, cool.
Or to shoot billiards, and I'm open for it. I mean, I put my number in the chat and would love to host you guys at BYOB and talk trash.
All right, well, let's do that, Rob. I'll put something together and we'll get it up on the events page, and we can do that. That'd be fun.
Jude, if I may, just real quick, I can address something where there's hope, and that's even though the judicial system for men is completely messed up, compared to where it was 5, 10, 15, 20 plus years ago, guys, it's gotten better. It actually is better. Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Here in Texas, I'm in Dallas, Texas. My county has a lot of libertarian judges that they just don't put up with these women's bullshit anymore. It is especially if it's just from what I've seen, it's still bad. Don't get me wrong. It's still bad. It's not perfect, but it's gotten a lot better. So there is hope. What I recommend is everyone here on this call, you need to become practically a lawyer yourself. You need to get a PhD in divorceology. The way you do that is by, being in these groups, but then go on Facebook and look up the word pro se, PRO, then space, then S as in Sierra, E as in Echo. Pro se means to represent yourself. I'm not saying you're going to do that. I mean, I hired lawyers. I did not represent myself, but by educating yourself like you're going to represent yourself and going into the pro se groups for your counties, for your state. Like Texas has a very big pro se group. There's also pro se coaches that are out there, and just people that they've been through it like myself. You'll also be by doing that, you're going to be able to protect yourself as best as possible when you go into court, and also make sure that your lawyer is doing what he needs to do. Because now this isn't black magic. You're going to be able to be like, well, hey, why aren't you doing this other thing that I read about in this pro se group? And the attorney's going to be like, oh yeah, I guess we could do that too. All of a sudden, they're going to give you better service because they understand that you're not just the dummy that has no idea what's going on.
The reason for my question is it seems like the Western world has these problems, because I think, Jude, you reach out to people in Australia and Europe and stuff, and they were going through the same kind of bullshit. And I met my fiance in Vietnam. We met this guy who could speak English, so there wasn't very many English speakers there. But we asked him all these questions about crime, and he said, if you get caught raping a woman, you get life in prison. But if the woman lies that she was raped, she gets life in prison. So the women there don't go around accusing men, because a prison, you got to understand, a prison in Vietnam is a death sentence, but people there don't live more than 2 years. And so the whole thing is completely different than here. People there don't just accuse you of crimes without being proven. And so here, a woman can say anything. And like one of you guys said, you could fall down and get a bruised eye or a broken nose and say you did it. And so it's just a crazy world here. It just, I don't know. It just makes me uncomfortable with the stuff going on. Yeah.
There's no doubt it is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for men, particularly in the family law court. But let's focus like what Moss was talking about with solutions and how we can mitigate that and work within it the best that we can in protecting our families and ourselves. And I wanted to say to Moss's point about getting yourself educated is hugely necessary, because even though you hire an attorney, attorneys are like any other profession. There's some that are good, there's some that are bad, they're human. You really have got to know and understand what's going on in the process, because you cannot blindly follow them. You hire them to do what you want. And that was a hard one for me to learn. I just left the decision making up to them and followed early on my attorneys blindly, and it just was a nightmare, because you have to understand that they're in this culture, and their goal is to continue to have a profession and make money for their to support their families, and in having to do that, they have to continue to function in this culture. So they continue to have to see these judges and magistrates and these other attorneys and these the CFI and the investigators or anybody else. And so they have to play nice in this. So if they're going to try to play nice, they're going to try to play nice. Most of them aren't going to be out there really advocating for you, burning bridges with judges and other attorneys and everything else. They're going to be trying to play nice. So you really need to know what is going on so that you can do what Moss said, which is, well, why don't we do this? You are driving your bus. And that's why I try to contextualize this in the sense that it's like you're building your team. Your attorney might be an important part of your team, like your quarterback, but you need others. You need a community like this of men. You need therapists. You need a coach. You need an accountant. You need your team around you when you're going through this, because it's multifaceted. It's just not about the legal system. To hear the rest of this episode and access the corresponding resources, visit thedivorcedadvocate.com and become a member of our community. It's free to join and will provide you with the resources you deserve as a divorced or divorcing dad. Thank you for listening. God bless, and I'll talk with you next week.